Well, the coronavirus pandemic has shuttered churches as governors and mayors have discouraged gatherings of more than 10 people. But there are some pastors who are still preaching to members inside church buildings every week. Our Allie Martin has more on that.
Shelter-in-place orders and CDC guidelines and recommendations on social distancing have had no impact on the congregation at New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. Pastor Jack Shelton says it's not about defying government authorities. Instead, he says, it's about faith and the freedoms guaranteed in the First Amendment.
You are spiritual beings, each one of you.
Pastor Jack Shelton was holding Wednesday night services from New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church on Facebook Live, and he was also preaching to members sitting in the church pews.
I can't really say how many exactly were here, but I do know it was over 10.
Shelton has been pastor of the Plantersville-based church for 14 years. When the coronavirus began to reach the United States and government leaders started restricting public meetings and events, Pastor Shelton decided not to close the church's doors.
First Amendment states what our rights are as a religious organization. And then when you look at that, when you Google your First Amendment, also look at the governor's oath and what he is obligated to do as relates to the First Amendment. Now, when we look at those things, then we can start putting into question who's abiding by law.
Bishop Clarence Parks, pastor of Temple of Compassion and Deliverance, decided to forego in-person services several weeks ago, opting for online broadcast and drive-in services. Bishop Parks believes it is wise to heed the warnings and recommendations about the coronavirus.
I tell the people, when we talk about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they didn't jump in the fire, they were thrown in the fire. And because they were thrown in the fire, God took care of them. We were thrown into this fire. But so I believe, like they said, God is well able to take care of us.
Pastor Shelton says true faith should erase fears.
Why are we afraid if we have God's power?
Pastor Shelton has been in contact with ministers in other states who have been cited for having in-person church services. Pastor Shelton believes there will be a lot of legal challenges involving these executive orders that have impacted church services and attendance. In Lee County, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Pastor Shelton says no one in his congregation has contracted the coronavirus.